Denmark is constructing the first energy island in the North Sea to help the nation meet its 2050 carbon neutrality target. The Chinese desert solar power station, which can create electricity while regenerating the parched deserts, may serve a more effective purpose than this one desolate location. But if this energy island initiative is successful, it will help Germany solve its chronic natural gas issue while also lowering the cost of energy generation throughout country. After the Danish energy island project was completed in its entirety, the US and Europe put sanctions on Russia, exacerbating Europe's energy crisis. It is intended to assist more Europeans in reducing their reliance on Russian energy. This initiative will serve as a model for the global transition to sustainability. Denmark is a country in Northern Europe with a population of just 5.88 million people. Before we proceed, subscribe to this channel to see the most astounding and scary global initiatives. Ready? Let's get started. This nation is renowned as the wind energy kingdom, and it is a top performer in terms of lowering global carbon emissions. Denmark has been a worldwide pioneer in the transformation of renewable energy, namely wind, electricity, and heating systems, and no industrialized nation, including the United States, can compete with Denmark in terms of. Denmark is home to 5 of the top 10 wind turbine manufacturers in the world, and more than 60 of wind turbine manufacturers use Danish technology. Wind energy output covers 47% of Denmark's total electricity consumption. Despite possessing one of the world's most sophisticated energy industries, its electricity prices are not among the lowest. This year, too, power prices have previously reached all-time highs. Electricity in Denmark costs 8.4 Danish crowns, $1.02, or almost the same as in other European nations where it costs $0.08 per kilowatt hour. Despite having 1.4 billion people, a kilowatt hour costs no more than $0.2. Even at peak time, Denmark has pledged to fivefold its offshore wind power production capacity in order to reduce energy prices and fulfill the aim of decreasing greenhouse gas emissions by 70% from 1990 levels by 2030. The first phase will include the construction of a 100-kilometer-long energy island in the North Sea. This energy island is separated from Denmark's west coast. The offshore wind farm's initial production will be 3 gigatons, enough to power 3 million homes, with future enhancements to 10 gigaton. Denmark's largest offshore wind farm currently serves 10 million residences. The energy island may resemble an offshore power plant after the throne. The adjacent windmills, in our imaginations, supply electricity. It might eventually reach 600. The combined production of these 2 huge wind farms will ultimately be 12 billion watts, more than Denmark's needs. The extra electricity that the Danes are unable to use may be supplied to European nations. Other nations in need will be supplied with electricity through lines buried on the ocean bottom. Power outages are now occurring across Europe, including the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom, natural gas is mostly utilized to create electricity. Moreover, natural gas is utilized to create 40% of the UK's electricity. Natural gas costs have risen, and there is now a scarcity. After the United Kingdom joined the sanctions on Russia, the British National Grid has issued a warning about predicted power shortages this winter. The scenario is similar in Germany and France right now, since there is still a major deficit of electricity supplies. The Danish pilot project will be at least 80 kilometers west of the country's geographic position and at least 120,000 square meters in size. This region is about the size of 100 Olympic-sized swimming pools combined. Even though the site of the underwater connection from this energy island has not yet been determined, green energy may be provided to at least 3 million dwellings everywhere. Clearly, this is only the initial phase in the project's progression. Wind energy's current capacity is estimated to be roughly 3 gigatons, with an eventual capacity of more than 10 gigatons, enough to power 10 million households. Denmark and the Netherlands will now be linked to wind power, which will be able to accommodate additional power plants in order to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Construction on the 2 gigaton project has already begun. But when the combined power of the 2 islands is switched on at full capacity, output might reach 12 gigatons, which is comparable to Europe's whole present offshore wind capacity. Germany and Denmark share an island in the North Sea, while Norway and Sweden may be located on the northern side of the sea, with the North Sea to the west and south. When this project is done, European countries will no longer be reliant on Russian oil and gas. They will no longer be plagued by high natural gas costs and exorbitant living expenses, it is hoped. Indeed, European telecommunications providers originally presented the notion of renewable fuel in 2017, and it has subsequently been iterated upon. It has gradually expanded from the first wind power hub to Power X Power. Diversification is the production of low-carbon gas or liquid fuels by the use of renewable energy conversion. Nevertheless, there is currently no genuinely adequate example of this notion anywhere in the globe. Many Danish institutions in the area endorse this concept. When the wind is quite strong, Denmark will also face the delightful dilemma of determining how to utilize the extra clean energy. When the wind conditions are favorable, the offshore wind power potential surpasses 40 gigatons to ease system strain. The additional electricity may be utilized to generate sustainable fuels, such as offshore hydrogen generation. Despite the fact that 2030 is the estimated completion date, the island's ultimate look remains unclear. A man-made island will be expensive, and portion of this energy island is privately held. Will they agree to cede sovereignty of their island to the development of businesses, data centers, entertainment venues, and museums on the energy island for tourists to come and learn is still in its early stages. The government has extended an offer to a number of private companies to participate. Of course, private enterprises will assess the soil's condition and work to minimize any environmental damage. But regardless, no matter how this program is implemented, Europe will profit more. The majority of European nations rely on energy, and Denmark is the EU's largest oil producer. Following the completion of the energy island plans, all 27 member countries have committed to achieving carbon neutrality at the same time. Under pressure from Russia and Ukraine, Denmark resolved to halt oil and gas production in the North Sea by 2050. Even if Denmark can supply Europe's power needs with additional energy, natural gas prices in Europe will not fall. To reduce carbon emissions and make clean energy available to individuals and companies, the EU as a whole must utilize more renewable energy. In my view, this project has the potential to become carbon neutral and significantly improve environmental protection. In addition to addressing the problem of exorbitant electricity costs, if this project is successful, it will become the world's most successful example of green energy, which other nations may emulate. For example, China, which ranks first in power consumption, used 8.5 trillion kilowatt-hours of energy in 2017, 8 times more than India, which ranks third and twice as much as the United States, which ranks second. They already have a significant supply of green energy due to their growing company and vast population, but 60% of the nation's electricity is still provided by coal, a significant air polluter. If China can adopt green power production in the suburbs, as Denmark has done, it will be able to meet its objective of cutting carbon emissions by 80% by 2050 more quickly. The energy island in Denmark will significantly boost Europe's offshore wind energy potential. Putin is in charge. Free energy should be pursued. If other nations replicate the shift that Denmark experienced in response to present climate change, our planet's environment will improve. Nevertheless, it is possible that the world may attain climate neutrality 10 years sooner than expected. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Click here to view a video about another frightening project.